Recording. Welcome everybody, Team Rhino call. September 20th, getting close to the end of September. Exciting stuff going on. We got a couple weeks left in the health bet. What week are we on now? Is this just week 2? 3. Week 3. Yes, we're on the second day of week 3 here, and let's see what else is going on. So one thing I wanted to touch on before we get to our guest speaker actually this week was Dave Ward just did a live video in the Fit Club Network. He kind of asked, is it hard right now for people, and just got some response back on that. And the response from a lot of people was, yeah, it's hard right now. Like, it's not easy talking to people, and like it just doesn't seem like people are as responsive right now as they have been in the past. A lot of answers from people who have been around for 3, 4, 5 years like I have, and had heydays back in 13, 14, even some in 15, just like the business was almost easy, and there are a lot of them feeling like it's very hard right now. And so Dave did a live video after that, and just kind of talked about why he thinks that is. And I think there was a couple of reasons. I didn't get to watch every second of his live video, but I got the gist of it from about probably 2/3 of it that I watched. And part of it is just what's going on in our country right now. And I think that that's important to realize, not to use it as an excuse or anything and say, well, I can't do the business because of this, or whatever, but just to realize that there are times when it's easier for people to focus on what we do and to be responsive to us, and times when it's not so easy. And with the elections and the two choices that we have between, well, I guess there's a third choice, right? But the two choices that we have between Trump and Clinton, and most people would say that that's probably, they don't really feel very good about either candidate. Some people probably like one or the other, but it's definitely not. It's definitely different, right? And people are worried about it, and people have, there's major issues going on. You've got the whole Kaepernick thing, which stems from, which is just a small part of really the larger issue there. The whole police brutality issue, and all these things going on in our country that are just turmoil, and people are worried, and with the way social media is today and the way we get our news and everything, it's very, very hard to disconnect yourself from that, or to not be worried or be involved in it. And when you have things that you're worried about and that you're involved in and you're stressing about, that adding something else to the mix is not what people want to do, right? Making a change like that, taking on something new, adding something to their lives. And so it causes, business to slow down in a case like that. Now, to realize that, it also changes at some point to where people do get back to what we do, and usually you can see that just in the normal flow of things, even when there's no turmoil going on, like major turmoil or anything like that. You can see that just with, oh, well, it's summer and the kids are out of school and I don't want to add anything else to my life. That kind of ebb and flow, where it's January and then, oh, the kids are getting out of school, and then I got to get the kids back in school, and then, oh, okay, I can start doing this again. I mean, maybe I will do a challenge group, and then it's holidays and I can't do anything. And then it's like January, I've got to do something, and you see this ebb and flow thing that goes through our business. It's almost like with everything that's going on in the nation right now, that it's like an eternal summer right now, of where the kids are out of school. There's too much going on. I don't have time for this, starting a business. I don't have time for this Beachbody thing or whatever. But that's not going to last forever. And I think it is important and helpful to realize that there's things going on like that. So it's not like, oh, well, Beachbody's just not going to do well anymore or anything like that. It's just one of those ebb and flow type of times. So that's what Dave was talking about. I think he probably talked about some other things that I missed in the video. Did anybody else watch it? Anybody watch Dave's live video? No. Okay. So I don't know how many of you are actually in the FCN group. I know some people haven't ever actually been in that since they joined Team Rhino. But If you're not in it, let me know. I'll get you in the Fit Club Network group. You can watch that video, or I might be able to share it over to Team Rhino. But I think there was some good thoughts there for sure. There's also some shifts going on in the way Beachbody does business that are very important to us, and one of those is the on-demand shift, which, if you think about the way on-demand works, right? On-demand is a lower volume, in other words, lower cost, which means lower volume, which means lower amounts of money per person that you talk to, right? But that makes it more accessible. So you sell an on-demand membership, it's like, well, it's only such a small amount of volume, and it's 40% of, $38 a quarter, which is a small amount of money, compared to earning $30 on selling a P90X DVD set, right? When you earn 25% of $120, or earn 25% of a $60 program, or earn 25% of, whatever you're selling, versus now it's like they unlock the program for $30 or less. You get very little of that, and then you get a little bit of the membership and all that kind of stuff. You have a smaller amount, but it's also way more accessible for people, which means that you can get a lot more people involved theoretically, right? And so there's a shift in the way the business is done where people are seeing volumes drop. Like I see my volume actually drop compared to what, not actually drop, but like compared to when we used to launch a new program, what my volume would do compared to what it does now is a lot different. And one of the main reasons for that is because before, even if all the coaches weren't out there selling the brand new program a ton, which usually happened as well, all the coaches bought the program because they were going to do it. And that's volume in your downline, all your downline coaches buying the program. Well, now all the coaches unlock it because they don't really care to have another DVD program, and they're all doing on demand because we're coaches and we're into all the stuff that Beachbody does, and on demand is one of the new things, and we got to do it and we got to promote it. And so most of the people are like, well, I'm not going to spend $60 on the new program that comes with more containers when I already have the containers. I'm going to unlock the program on demand. That's half or less than half of the volume from that coach buying that program that I would normally see in my downline, right? But it's more accessible, and so you can get more people involved, right? So we've got a shift in how our business is done that we have to navigate, and we have to change how we do business to work with a new business model, which is a recurring business model, which generates more passive income, which is better in the long run. But if you're used to every time a program launches, like I was, your volume goes through the roof because every coach buys it, plus they're selling it to their customers, and all your customers that always buy every new program that comes out buy it, and on and on, and it gets cut in half or less because everybody's unlocking it. It's like, okay, well that kind of sucks. But if in the long run this is a change in our business that is better for the customer, better for us because it's recurring, more passive income, then we have to navigate that. So some things to think about if you're like, especially if you've been around a little while and you're like, man, things seem hard right now. Things seem harder than they used to be. Yeah, they are for everyone. Like everybody's seeing it harder. But the reasons for that are not lasting reasons. They're things that we can navigate through, and we would come out, I think, can't promise anything, of course, but I think we're going to come out better on the other end with better businesses and bigger stuff. So anyway, those are my thoughts on what Dave had to talk about in the Fit Club Network group. And like I said, if you want to get in that group, if you're not in there, and watch Dave's full 30-minute video on why he thinks things are a little harder right now, then let me know. But tonight we have Mr. David Coggin on, who is like, he should be on Team Honey Badger because he doesn't care how hard it is right now because he's just going to rock it anyway. Right? That's your team, isn't it, Brooks? Team Honey Badger?
That's them.
Honey Badger don't care. He's just going to rock it anyway. So David's got, let's see, 2 months in a row now. I think the first one was Success Club 10. Is that right, David?
Yes, it is.
And then this last month you made 8, almost hit 10.
Yeah,
True.
so close.
So close, so close. But tell me, like I want you to tell a little bit about your backstory too. But just right on that point, how many times did you made Success Club in the 2 or 3 years that you've been a coach before last month?
None.
Okay, and you've been a coach for how long?
Over 3 years.
Okay, over 3 years. Been on the team for a long time. Been to Summit. Been doing the thing. And now starting to get some traction, right? Really starting to see good Success Club numbers, making some sales, adding people to challenge groups, all that kind of stuff. So we want to talk to you about what you're doing. But first, let's just kind of backpedal and go back, 3 or 4, or, you could do the whole Goonies thing and start from, like when you were a little kid. But just give us your, does anybody get the Goonies reference? All right, okay, good. The blender and yeah.
Yeah.
Give us the Becky and Kent are fake puking over there. It's awesome. I love my team. So David, give us the backstory. Go ahead.
Well, what do you mean, Ryan? I wasn't prepared to tell you any backstory. I mean, I've struggled and struggled and struggled and had, it seemed like the world against me in this business, but I knew that there's something in Beachbody, and I, experienced results, and I just wanted to help people and do that. And
well, so let me narrow it down for you a little bit. I guess, well, first of all, like, give us some non-Beachbody stuff, like what do you do for a living, and that kind of.
So I just got hired on at the Lawrence of Livermore National Laboratory. I was, prior to this job, I was commuting 3 hours a day to another part of the Bay Area, which is probably the worst commute on the planet, in my opinion. So I had to restructure my life and my schedule so I could have more time with my family and more time to focus on the business. It took me a few years to, make that be, but, that's where I'm at now. So, again, with all that being in line, now I have more time to focus on the business.
Okay, cool. How long ago did that happen, that you got to have a little more time now?
Well, I started working at the lab in February of 2015, was a contractor for over a year, and then I got the lab position in July of 2016.
Okay.
So just recently.
Sweet. All right. Cool. So now, how did you get into Beachbody? I know Mark Cancilla was the guy who brought you in, but how did you guys meet and you get hooked up there?
Okay, so this is what I want to say. I was way overweight. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And my son actually came up to me and said, "Hey, I'm doing this new thing called Insanity. You want to, at the beginning of Insanity, you have this thing that's called the fit test." And he turned it on, and there's, the family there, and we're trying to do it. And I completely gasped out within the first 5 minutes. I could not even complete the fit test. So I knew right then, and I believed if this program was this challenging and I stuck it out, I would get results. So that was the beginning. I went and bought the program, not like some people who download a torrent version or something like that, but I actually went and bought the program, and then I was on the lead wheel, and Mark Cancilla became my coach. So,
okay.
That's how that happened.
Okay, so you were actually in the customer lead program and got assigned to Mark. There's some internet issues going on here, I think. But yeah, so that's always something to note, is that there's a lot of customers who end up coming through the customer lead wheel that end up being good coaches and, good customers for people. I've gotten quite a few out of the lead wheel. I've had diamond coaches come out of the customer lead wheel and through the coach lead program and all kinds of things like that. So that's interesting. Okay. So
yeah. Let's go back to that lead wheel program.
Go for it.
That was pretty good back then. You know what I'm saying? Yes.
Well, there's still a lot of leads there. It's just you have to do more to get them. So it used to be, that you could make Success Club 5 get the Shakeology leads, and you'd get quite a few of them. Now you got to make Success Club 10 to get the Shakeology leads, and they're probably still further and fewer between. But it used to be, when there was less coaches and more, and still a lot of people pouring into Beachbody, there was more leads for sure. But that's why they made the lead program harder, so that it would narrow down the number of coaches again, so that you would actually not just get like 2 leads a month, you would get more like 2 leads a week. So So okay, so you got through the lead program, got Mark Hensilla as your coach. What made you decide to become a coach?
Mark, he asked me after, to participate and be accountable with this program, you have to post, you have to drink your Shakeology. Well, actually, let me wind that back. I wasn't doing Shakeology at first. I said, no, I don't think I need that. Just give me the program. Well, after I did the first round, that's when he, introduced Shakeology. And so I signed up with that. And then shortly thereafter, said, hey, you need to be a coach. You're doing what coaches do, and just keep doing it. So I said, well, and by the way, you can save 25% on your Shakeology. I said, sign me up. I mean, it was that simple.
Yeah, once you like the Shakeology, right? Yeah, so I know, I remember, and I don't even know if this was a part of it, but I remember one of the things that Mark used to do really well as a coach was he had himself his group, right? Were you in that group that he had that was all of his customers?
I still am.
Okay. And there were a couple of people especially that really were just customers who talked up Shakeology a lot and just loved it and stuff. Is that one of the ways that kind of brought you around to the Shakeology?
Well, for me, it was about the money. You can save money, I'm in, I'm done.
I mean brought you around to Shakeology to begin with, like when you weren't doing Shakeology before. What was it that pushed you over the edge? Just Mark, or were there people in the group that were kind of,
in the group,
testimonial and stuff like that? Yeah. So I think that's one thing that I was remembering about Mark just now that maybe is a good thing for the rest of the people on this call, is that Mark had a very good method of just all of his customers, not necessarily a start and end challenge group type of thing, but he just had a community of all of his customers. And he had a few really dedicated ones who weren't coaches, who didn't want the 25%, didn't want the coaching or any of that stuff, but loved Shakeology. And they would just talk about it all the time in his customer group. And so he'd put everyone in there, and then he'd mention Shakeology. Someone would say no, they'd be in the group, and these people would be talking it up, and the testimonials from them and them talking it up all the time is what sold Shakeology for him. The other people, his other customers, would talk his new customers into buying Shakeology for him. So, I was never in that group, so I don't know exactly the dynamics of how that worked and everything, but it's a thought that I've never done it myself. I've never really done a big group like that where it's just all my customers, but it really worked for Mark. He used to talk to me about it all the time, how all he has to do is put them in there, and then he would call them his ladies. His ladies would sell a Shakeology for him. They just talk it up. Heidi's laughing because she knows Mark. Yeah. All right. So cool. So let's get to now. So you became a coach. We talked about how you struggled for several years now, not really making Success Club, coming to Summit, doing always involved, making the team calls, all that kind of stuff. What's changed now compared to then?
Well, a couple things. I mean, my wife, she has been or was totally against this thing. So that was part of the struggle. And it was like her dad was in underground construction. He was into, all kinds of, business type things. And she was brought up, that multi-level marketing was just not the way to do it. Guys go to work, they, have businesses, and that's how they make their money. So from her standpoint, it was just, she was conditioned to believe that. So, of course, she's no longer with us. And I think that transition of just keeping busy and having more time to do things that I've really been wanting to do, and focusing on the business and working out and keeping healthy and keeping busy, and that really started it.
I can see that. Yeah, just having a huge life change like that it's easier to keep busy than to just sit around and think about it and all that kind of stuff.
Correct.
I can imagine that's true. Okay, so what have you been doing in your business that's been successful? I know you've been doing some things related to like keeping track of who you're talking to and things like that better. Is that part of it?
Yeah. So here's the thing. I mean, I've had lists. I've tried to, keep lists to follow up, and keeping lists to follow up with people, but it just seems like so many people had, slipped through the cracks. I would either forget to write them down or forget to follow up. And I heard about this thing called Team Z, and I decided to check it out. Well, it's like a total business management system for coaches, built by coaches, and I won't be surprised if Beachbody somehow picks this thing up, because it's just like a one-stop shop that completely changes the way I do my power hour. I mean, I can sit down, I can go through the prospects, the connects, and it really makes it fun, where I want to come home, knock out the my power hour. And if I have more time to work on that, great. If I have other things I need to do to help the business, I can focus on that. I can still have time to get my workouts in and my posts made. As a matter of fact, that's part of the checkout list that you do while you're in this thing.
So it sounds like it's probably a way more detailed version of what we're kind of trying to do with the Team Rhino activity tracking thing.
Oh yeah, I wanted to tell everybody, but I also wanted to do it for myself, have some experience with it, and success. So I wasn't just, telling people to go do this thing and then not actually doing it, just kind of like you do with your workouts, right?
Exactly. I know that's a good thing. So I think that, one of the points to bring up here is that it kind of shows that doing the activity is the key to everything, right? Which is not rocket science, right? It doesn't. I mean, we could all agree that doing the activity is the key to everything. But having a way to do that in a very efficient way helps a lot. Because I can see people, because I know I've had the experience. Although I'm a fairly independent person, so I work pretty well independently and organizing myself and tasking and stuff like that. I'm not the best at it, but I grew up homeschooled, and so I had to do that kind of stuff. And my dad owned his own business, and there wasn't like go off to school and structured time and all that kind of stuff. And so I think I've had some experience with that, but I still have times where I sit down and I'm like, I'm supposed to work right now, but I don't even know where to start. Like, I don't know what to do. What should I do? Should I talk to new people? Should I follow up with old people? Should I write a blog post? Should I learn a new skill? Should I film a video? What should I do? And what's the best use of my time? And having especially some kind of a power hour that really works for you is good, right? And so it sounds like this tool is helping you like put that down into this is what I need to do, and you can just go like check it off, right?
Yeah, it's a really a structured system in that, you know, you'll have prospects first, and then you'll go through your prospects, your customers, and then you'll do your coaches, and then you do your follow-ups, and then there's check boxes for your workouts, your Shakeology. Did you post on your social media? And you can load all of your contacts, whether it's Facebook contacts or it's your Beachbody contacts. You can load your Google contacts. So every type of, you know, way that you keep your contacts can be loaded into this thing. So now you have this giant master list to where you can actually you can rate your customers, and based on the rating is how often they'll come up on your list as to when to contact them. You can do an instant click of one button and say, oh, I need to follow up with this person in 2 days. Click it, move on to the next one. So then in 2 days, when you get to your follow-up page or portion of the of your power hour, boom, the person's there, and you follow up with them.
That's great. It sounds like an awesome system. I've heard a lot about it. If you guys, you know, I don't, do you have an affiliate link for it, David? Is there?
Just go to teamz.com. You can try it free for 30 days. I mean, don't take my word for it, right?
Yeah. So that's what I don't have an affiliate link for it. I'm not in it at all. But I know some very high level coaches who are in it and who are liking it. And I told David, you know, that if you guys want to still be a part of the Team Rhino activity tracking thing, and but you want to give TeamZ a try, and you don't want to be like tracking in both of them, I'm totally fine. The Team Rhino tracking thing is an honor system, so be honorable about it. But if you want to go in on the last day of the month and just enter everything that you did in TeamZ in one Team Rhino activity tracking form and just say, you know, 94 new contacts, and, you know, and just go through it, I'm totally cool with that. If you want to give TeamZ a try, this is something that if you're feeling like you're super disorganized and there's tons of people falling through the cracks and you don't have a system for it, it can do that for you. It also emails, right? Does it not?
Yeah, you choose how you want to contact the person, and it makes you select some way to contact them, whether it's Facebook messaging, email, text, phone call. Say like say you're not a friend with your customer, but you have their email. You can just double click the email, and then your email comes up, and then you write in your message and click send. I mean, it's just the most efficient thing I've ever seen.
So does it do autoresponder sequences and lead collection and all that kind of stuff too, or have you not gotten into that?
I haven't gotten into that yet.
Okay. I believe it does though, right? I believe it does like landing pages, lead collection. You can bring people onto your list through a landing page and all kinds of stuff. But I'm not sure on that. But I know Automatic CEO was another one that came out that did that kind of stuff. But if you guys want to give that a try, if you think that it would help you, feel free. I've heard enough recommendations for it now from people that I think that's okay to put out on a team call, that it's probably worth a try if you're feeling disorganized. It's TEAM, like team, and then ZY, TeamZ, or TeamZ. Yeah.
One more quick thing I want to bring up is it does have a mobile app, so you can do it from your phone as well. So how many times did you want to get home so you could message that person or have that information at home? Now it's on your phone. So you can, I mean, depending on your schedule, I know I don't have access to my phone most of the day. So that part is not is good for me, but it will, like on the weekends, you can do that. So again, it's.
Oh, you got security restrictions with your phone? You can't take it into work?
I don't have, my phone is locked up when I go in, so it's.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. So other thoughts for the team before we finish up this call? Like, you know, what are you being most successful with? What would you say to the people on the call. There'll be people listening to this on a recording too. Just anything you have for the team.
Okay, I have one.
No, wait. David first, though. I want him to just do his final thoughts, and then we'll take questions.
Fine, David can do it.
Thanks, Brooks. Hey, so yeah, I mean, like for me, again, I was struggling with organization and keeping track of my list, and this is essentially a business tracking management connecting tool that will, because we're in the relationship marketing business, however you think about it, that's really what it is. So this helps to build that, and I look forward to growing it, and I hope you guys do too. Check it out.
All right, what do you got, Brooks? Questions, your thoughts?
No, my thought is just, things are tough, things are slow. Just keep going, keep doing what you're doing. Keep drinking the Shaco, keep doing the workouts, keep sharing it. It will come around. Be patient.
Yeah, I think that's true, really. It is a patience game. What Gary said, right, what did Gary say at Summit? Gary said that one of the number one things that people don't have in this room is patience.
Patience, yeah.
Patience. They want to come in here, and because there's 7 people who made $300,000 in their first year, they think that it takes them 8 years, that they're failures.
Right.
There's 7 people that did that, or whatever. It's like, you got to be patient. And, people look at him and say, you're so lucky that you've done this. It's like, dude, I was working 15 years in my dad's liquor store, like starting in the basement, cutting up boxes.
While you guys were going out partying.
Yeah, while you guys were out on the Jersey Shore, I was doing that. And you're saying I was lucky? I was patient, and I worked hard, So that's a good point. What else?
That can't be understated, because we're in an instant gratification generation, and you look at all these people, you don't lose 100 pounds to have the total body transformation in one set, and so as your customers get frustrated or disappointed or discouraged, you just have to continue to reinforce to them, hey, this takes time. We've been doing it for 3 years. You've been, 7 years, what? So, and all the people who want that instant gratification, Beck's lost 2 or 3 coaches because they didn't get the results that they wanted. Did they follow the program? Did they stick with it? Did they follow through? Or was it that they just wanted to hit the easy button again? So just keep encouraging people that way.
Yeah, it's true. And, we have to guard against that, because we have 21-day programs too, and 21-day programs can tend to put ideas of short time periods and lack of patience in people's minds, right? It's 21 days. It's only 30 days. It's only 60 days or whatever. And then they get done and they're like, well, I don't look like autumn. So you kind of have to, when you're talking to your customers, it's like, this is a 21-day program, but that's not, the end. That's, we do this for 21 days, and then we maybe do it again for 21 days, or we do this other program, and it's, this is a long-term thing. And some people only need 21 days to burn off 2 to 3 pounds or whatever that they want to burn off. But other people, it's not going to happen in 21 days. So.
Hey, about that, I was just talking to somebody today who was super frustrated, and she can't seem to find her motivation to she feels she can't make herself make a change. And I said, okay, you need a small challenge or a small goal that you can make, that you can be successful.
Mm-hmm.
Success can lead to another success, and that's what I consider the 21-day fix. It's a long series of short successes.
Right. Yeah. Now, if you explain it that way to people, then you can use it successfully, right? But if it's just like, do this program for 21 days and it'll solve all your problems, it's not gonna work.
And that would be the one thing that I would say, because I do this with my patients all the time, is if you were to challenge them and say, what is your goal? And so they give you a big, huge monster goal. You need to then say, well, now let's break it down to what we can accomplish in 21 days, or what can we do in a month? What is a small goal? And so if their goal is they want to lose 50 pounds, now you need to change it and be like, you know what? Let's make it a different focus. Let's lose a pant size in a month. Don't focus on the weight, but focus, You change their focus and you put it on something else that you can prove that it's a process, and it needs to be a series of mini goals. That's exactly right.
Well, and we need to do the same thing with our business, right? You need to do the same thing with your business. It's like if your goal is to quit your job, which doesn't have to be your goal, but if your goal is to quit your job and you make $70,000 a year, you can break that exact same goal all the way back down into, how many challenge packs do I need to sell, or how many coaches do I need to sign up, or how many, so this month my goal is to, do this. And if I can get to the end of the month and have this small thing accomplished, then I know I'm on track for my goal of meeting this. You can break those things back down the same way for your business. So.
Absolutely.
All right. Other thoughts?
Yeah, I wanted to say another thing about the team is it prompts you to put your why. So you have to write it all out. It asks you what your income goal is, and then it reverse engineers that and tells you how many contacts you have to make, how many connects, how many coaches, and all that. So, I mean, it maps out your goal for the whole year right there.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Huh.
That's cool.
Sounds like it was built for Beachbody coaches.
I'm telling you what, man.
Very cool. Yeah, it sounds like a good tool, and I definitely have seen a lot of big-name coaches, like, people who I have spent time with and know a little bit, like Tara Carr has been using TeamZ, and it's like 15-star diamond, tons and tons of coaches, lots of contacts type of person. It's moving over there from other systems that she was using. So that was like 3 or 4 months ago. I should contact her and see how she's liking it now. But I've definitely seen a lot of interest in it, just in having one system, because you have something like Aweber and it's email marketing or something. So you can do email autoresponders and collect leads and things like that. But then it doesn't do follow-ups, and it doesn't really manage your contacts for doing a business. And then you have like a contact management system, but it doesn't do this other piece over here. And then you have, and you end up with like 5 different tools to try to really like manage when you have a lot of contacts. And so this is something that's built specifically for exactly what we do, with all the tools that you need. And I think they're pretty dedicated. It sounds like they're pretty dedicated to continuing to improve it with more things as we need more things, So something to look at,
I'm in. Look.
What's that?
I said I'm gonna give it a look.
Yeah, give it a try. I guess it's got at least a 2-week trial on it. I think. Is it 30 days?
30 days.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
30 days. So you can try it out, see what you think, import some contacts, do some follow-ups. If it works, it works. If not.
So the other thing is, I mean, you hear some of these big coaches and you hear or understand the staggering numbers they put up. And it's just not possible to do that without some type of a management system, in my opinion. I mean, I don't see how they can do it.
Well, no, that's very true. I mean, a lot of that is done through, there's things going on there. And there's lots of different types of things going on there. It's not just like a management system. Some of it is, advertising, like Facebook advertising, and some of it is blog SEO with lead management, lead capture stuff in it. And some of it is, the way they run their Facebook pages, the way they run their Instagram pages, all different things going on there. But they have systems. I think that's the key to it all, is they have a system. People come in this way. They go through this maze of, points of contact, and they come out the other side a customer or a coach, and they their job is to put as many people into that system as possible. But if you don't have a system, yeah.
Well, try the TeamZ, and if it doesn't work after a month, just quit.
Exactly. I just quit the whole thing. Call it TeamZ's fault. It's TeamZ's fault because it didn't work for me. Yeah. It worked for other people, but it didn't work for me. So, all right, you guys. I'm gonna go cook dinner. I hope you guys have a good night, and thank you, David, for being on and just giving us a little backstory. And good job in the last couple of months. Keep it up.
Love you.
Pressure's on now because everybody knows what you're doing.
Yup, let's do it.
All right.